course, I wouldn't want Donald Trump round for dinner, but don't underestimate the danger to the world if Trump is re-elected this time around.
Keir Starmer, the UK Premier.
Yes, he's coming tonight.
What do you think of him? Some of his colleagues in government are quite critical of you.
Well, I'm going to see him in about an hour.
Donald Trump has just dealt a crushing blow to Keir Starmer, and it's sent shockwaves through the political world. But this isn't just about two men, it's about a clash of ideologies that's reshaping global politics as we know it. In the next few minutes, we'll break down exactly what happened, why it matters, and what it means for the future of international relations. Get ready for a deep dive into the world of political strategy, personal vendettas, and the high-stakes game of global diplomacy. As the dust settles on Trump's controversial guest list for his upcoming inauguration, it's clear that this isn't just about who's getting a fancy invitation. The exclusion of Keir Starmer, leader of the UK Labour Party, speaks volumes about the shifting tides in global politics. Trump's choices reflect a deliberate strategy to surround himself with like-minded individuals who share his populist, right-wing vision. Instead of extending an olive branch to more moderate voices like Starmer, Trump has opted to invite figures like Nigel Farage and Katie Hopkins. These aren't just random choices, they're calculated moves to reinforce Trump's brand of politics.
The 14th Amendment, though, says that, quote, all persons born in the United States are citizens. Can you get around the 14th Amendment with an executive action?
We're going to have to get a change. So I have to be nice, right? Yeah. But I actually think he's very nice. I think he ran a great race. He did very well.
Farage, the Brexit champion, and Hopkins, known for her provocative right-wing commentary, represent the kind of ideological allies Trump wants in his corner. But it's not just about British politics. The guest list reads like a who's who of global populist leaders. Giorgia Meloni, Italy's first female prime minister and leader of the far-right Brothers of Italy party, is set to attend. Javier Milei, Argentina's newly elected libertarian president, has also secured an invitation. And let's not forget Viktor Orban, Hungary's strongman leader, who's been a thorn in the side of the European Union for years. This isn't just Trump being Trump, it's a clear signal about the direction he envisions for global politics. By snubbing centrist figures like Starmer and embracing these populist leaders, Trump is essentially drawing battle lines. He's creating a visual representation of the ideological divide that's been growing in recent years. Historically, presidential inaugurations have been moments of unity, a time to bring the country together after a divisive election. Trump's approach turns this tradition on its head.
I'm anti-Trump. I would like to send my warmest congratulations to President Trump.
So I have to be nice, right? Yeah. But I actually think he's very nice. I think he ran a great race. He did very well.
Instead of reaching across the aisle, he's doubling down on his base and his ideological allies. It's a move that's likely to further polarize not just American politics, but global politics as well. While Trump's guest list draws clear battle lines, Keir Starmer finds himself caught in a political quagmire. The Labour leader's attempt to straddle both sides of the ideological divide is becoming increasingly precarious, and it's raising eyebrows across the political spectrum. Starmer's recent efforts to build a constructive relationship with Trump have left many scratching their heads. It's a far cry from Labour's previous stance, where they were vocal critics of the former US president. This flip-flop from fierce opposition to reluctant diplomacy has led to widespread skepticism about Labour's commitment to consistent foreign policy principles. But Starmer's troubles don't end at the water's edge. Back home, he's facing a perfect storm of domestic challenges. Rising living costs, public sector strikes, and general public discontent are all conspiring to make his life difficult. It's no wonder he's struggling to navigate international relations effectively when he's got so much on his plate at home. The immigration issue serves as a perfect example of Starmer's dilemma. While Trump champions strict border control and deportation of illegal migrants, Starmer advocates for a more welcoming approach focused on humanitarian efforts. It's a stark contrast that highlights the ideological chasm between the two leaders. Starmer's recent comments suggest he's trying to position himself as a leader who can work with any US administration, regardless of political affiliation.
I mean, how does this happen? Last week he had the whole legal system rigged. Now he's powerless.
If I did it, you would be standing up in that chair shouting at me. And you know what I'd do? I'd say, you got me.
But is this a genuine shift in ideology or just a tactical move? Many are leaning towards the latter, viewing it as a desperate attempt to stay relevant in an increasingly polarized political landscape. The Labor leader's admission that things will get worse before they get better hasn't exactly inspired confidence. If anything, it's fueled growing impatience with his leadership amid ongoing domestic challenges. The public is starting to question whether Starmer's centrist approach can truly deliver in a world that seems to be drifting towards extremes. Just as Labour seems to be losing its grip, a seismic shift is occurring in UK politics. But it's not coming from within, it's coming from across the pond. Donald Trump, even without holding office, is exerting a surprising influence on British affairs. And he's not doing it alone. Reports suggest that Trump's team has been actively assisting Nigel Farage's bid for Prime Minister. It's a move that's raising eyebrows and blood pressures in equal measure. Reform UK, Farage's political vehicle, is reportedly neck and neck with Labour in the polls. This isn't just a minor tremor in the political landscape, it's a full-blown earthquake. But why is Trump so invested in UK politics? Some say it's revenge. Labour's perceived interference in the US election hasn't been forgotten by Trump's camp. They're playing the long game, and it seems Farage is their chosen pawn.
On his inauguration as the 47th President of the United States.
It's very early, but he's popular, and I'll be seeing him, and I'll send you a regard.
The relationship between Trump's team and Reform UK goes beyond casual support. There have been meetings, strategy discussions, all aimed at boosting Reform UK's election chances. It's a level of involvement that's unprecedented in recent UK-US relations. And it doesn't stop there. Trump's team is reportedly considering rejecting Lord Mandelson as the UK ambassador to the US. It's a move that could serve as a public humiliation for Keir Starmer, further weakening his already shaky position. But it's not just about personal vendettas. Trump's America First policy is set to have significant impacts on UK-US trade relations. Experts are warning that the UK may need to present some pretty attractive trade offers to stay in Trump's good books. It's a stark reminder of the real-world consequences of this political maneuvering.
Create havoc. These are bad people. I know everything they're doing. I know every move they make. I get it. It's tougher. I think it's probably, in many ways, it's tougher on my family than it is in me.
The witnesses that were on our side, they were literally crucified by this man who looks like an angel, but he's really a devil. He looks so nice and soft.
The Labor Party's previous criticisms of Trump aren't helping matters either. Trump's administration is known for holding grudges, and those past barbs could come back to haunt UK-US relations. It's a delicate dance, and right now, it seems Starmer is tripping over his own feet. The clash between Trump and Starmer isn't just about two politicians. It's a battle of ideologies that's shaking up global politics. As Trump's team cozies up to hardliners like Farage, Starmer's centrist approach is being put through the ringer. Can his middle-of-the-road politics survive in a world that seems to be veering towards extremes? Experts are sounding the alarm about the future of UK-US relations. With Trump potentially back in the White House, Starmer's Labor Party might find itself out in the cold. Their past criticisms of Trump could come back to haunt them, making it tough to maintain that special relationship we've heard so much about. It's not just about handshakes and photo ops. This ideological tug of war could have real consequences for trade deals, security cooperation, and global alliances. As the world watches, the question remains, can Starmer's pragmatism weather the storm of populism, or will it be swept away by the tide of political extremism?